Greetings to you all, and welcome again to this scope of the week, the very second scope of the week that we are getting into. You're all welcome. Today we're going to talk on a topic: when your back is against the wall, or when life has hit you so hard and you are lying flat on the floor with your back on the floor. I don't know about you, but there are times that people get into a situation where they have a dream. They start following that dream, and all of a sudden it crashes. Or you have hope in something, and all of a sudden hope is completely dashed. I want us to learn some lessons from King David. He was somebody who encountered a lot in life. And I want us to learn some lessons from him. So that when you go through some circumstances, when you fail, you know how to rise up again. I would love to do some reading. And I will read from the book of 1 Samuel chapter 30. I will just read the whole of chapter 30 is what you should read to really understand this. But let me just go from verse 4 all the way to 10. Then we're gonna just discuss. It reads from verse 4. Then David and the people who were with him lifted up their voices and wept until they had no more power to weep. Verse 5. And David's two wives, Ahinoam the Jezreelite, and Abigail, the widow of Nabal the Carmelite, had been taken captive. Now David was greatly distressed, for the people spoke of stoning him, because the soul of the people were grieved, every man for his sons and his daughters. But David encouraged himself in the Lord. Then David said to Abiathar the priest, Ahimelech's son, please bring the ephod here to me. And Abiathar brought the ephod to David. So David inquired of the Lord, saying, shall I pursue this troop? Shall I overtake them? And he answered him, pursue, for you shall surely overtake them, and without fail recover all. So David went, he and the 600 men who were with him, and came to the brook Besor, where those stayed who were left him. But David pursued, and he and 400 men, for 200 stayed behind, who were so weary that they could not cross the brook Besor. I want to say this. If we look at this story, let me give you a backdrop of this story. David had gone to war and left behind children, wives, with all the other soldiers who went to war. So when they went to war and conquered all the people that they went to war for, upon coming back, another group of armies who were their enemies came and raided the whole village or the whole city, captured their children, captured their wives, captured the young ones, burned the city, and took everybody away. See, David was a man of war. David was a person who have gone to war and have conquered. So he took the battalion of the Israelites to go and fight. And upon coming back, this terrible thing happened. If you read the scripture said, the men who came and found that their children were gone, the entire city was gone, the animals, everything gone, and the city burned. The scripture says they started weeping, they cried. Imagine men crying. They cried. And not only that, when they cried, you know what happened? They turned to David. And I believe they were saying, David, you are the one who took us to war. If we did not go to war, nothing would have happened, because we were able to capture these people who came to attack our children. So they got angry and they wanted to stone David. They were in the place to stone David. But listen to what the scripture says that I just read. When they tried to stone David, David did what? David turned around and started encouraging himself of the Lord. Then the scripture says he went further to inquire of God. So I want us to learn some lessons from this. When life circumstances hit you so hard and your back is on the floor, I want us to learn 3 lessons from David. David did an introspection. David looked inward amidst the situation. Children were gone, wives were gone, the city burned. All the army were against him. They want to kill him because he was the one who took them to war. Amidst that, one thing David did was David looked inward. So when life circumstances hit you hard, it is necessary to take an assessment. He looked inward to assess the situation. The scripture says they cried, they wept, they looked at the situation, they were grieved. David, the men tried to kill David. But David looked inward. He encouraged himself. He knew that he was grieved. He knew that he was not happy. He knew that something has happened. He knew that failure has taken place. The kingdom that he was building was crushed. Everybody taken away. He looked inward. He took an assessment of the matter. So when life circumstances hit us, let us assess the matter. Do an introspection. Look inward. So that you can have a true assessment of the matter. When you look inward, you assess, you'll be able to know what it takes to able to come back or to overcome. The next thing that David did was David looked upward. Because the scripture says David inquired of the Lord. He asked the priest to come and take the ephod so that he could inquire of the Lord. So he inquired of the Lord. He said, can I? He said, I want to pursue these people. Should I pursue these people? Will I overcome? Will I recover everything that has been stolen? That has been destroyed? And God told him, pursue, overcome, you will recover all. So I want to encourage somebody. In times of difficulties, when hope is all gone, when failure has taken place, your back is on the ground, or you are between the rock and the hard place, I want to encourage you to look upward. David looked upward after he has looked inward. He looked upward. And when he looked upward, he got an instruction from God. Now, I want to ask you, for those who are watching, you have to look upward, but you cannot look upward if you do not know the person that is upward. We have to look upward to the person who has the supreme power. When we are looking upward, we are looking up to somebody that we know can be able to get us out of the situation. David looked upward. And in looking upward, he got an instruction. So he looked to the ultimate power. So I want to ask somebody, if you don't know this ultimate power, you want to subscribe to this ultimate power. There's an ultimate power. I want to suggest to you that ultimate power is Jesus Christ. After looking inward, you have to look upward. But in order to look upward, you have to know this supreme power. You have to know this ultimate power. And that ultimate power that I can introduce to you is Jesus. David looked upward to have an instruction. After he looked upward, he got the instruction. He had to look outward. So remember, you have to look inward, you have to look upward, then you have to look outward. When he looked outward, he was able now to forge ahead. The scripture says he went out, he gathered the army. I know that he did not only encourage himself, I'm sure he turned around and encouraged his people and told them, I have looked upward and God has said we should go outward. And then they launched outward with the instructions of God. And when they launched outward, they captured the people and took back their children, took back their wives. And they had to rebuild the city again. So where are you in life? Have you ever been hit hard by a situation or by circumstances? Have you started a project and it failed? Have you gotten a dream and you look at it and it looks like there is no hope? Have you done something and it failed woefully and you are wondering, what do you do? Take these 3 steps. Look inward. Assess the situation. Look upward for an instruction. Then launch outward with the instruction. You will be able to go again. You will be able to go again. So I am encouraging somebody who is distressed. I'm encouraging somebody who have failed. I'm encouraging somebody whom in the course of life you may fail and you don't know what to do. This is what you should do. Look inward. Assess the situation. Look upward for the ultimate power and get instruction. When you get the instruction, launch outward again. When David did, David was able to recover. Even though his back was against the wall, even though his back was on the floor, even though the people wanted to kill him, but he encouraged himself in the Lord. And by looking inward, he encouraged himself, he assessed the situation. Then he inquired of God. He looked upward. When he looked upward, he got an instruction. When he got an instruction, he obeyed the instruction and launched outward. So when you fail, look inward, look upward, launch again. Don't fall down flat and stay there. Launch again. Always launch again. Never give up. Always look upward for instruction and launch outward. And when you launch outward, you will be able to recover. You will be able to get yourself back up. You will be able to get off your situation and begin to see success again. A lesson from David. He always looked upward. He never assumed that because I look upward and this was the instruction that was given me, so I would take the instruction and apply it to every situation. No, whenever his back was against the wall, whenever he was on the floor, whenever hope has failed, he always looked upward to get that instruction. And when he got the instruction, he launched outward. So I'd encourage somebody today. When there is no hope, when you have started something and you fail, I want you to look inward, assess the situation, Look upward. Get instruction. Launch outward with the instruction. And believe you will make it again. God bless you.